And welcome back. We're picking up where we left off last time in Songs of Six. As I said in the last one, we're going to start this one off by designing the Grand Temple to our 3. So, it's the Grand Temple, so we want it big. I'm not going to go so splurgy and make it out of, cut stone. Although we'll splurge a little bit. We're not going to make this out of wood. No, we're going to make this out of stone. The Dondorians like it a little bit better. The humans like it a little bit better. And it needs to be big. I guess the size max is around 2,000 squares is what it caps out as. Go 45 by 45 to start. Altar. We want it big. For somewhat hopefully good reasons. Basically surround the outside with altars. Yeah, like that. That's saying we got 79 employees in here to make this work. 79.2. And then I sort of need to tessellate in a way where we can make all the tiles not yellow, otherwise this is going to be incredibly expensive to build and maintain. And, well, it's a Grand Temple. It's already going to be incredibly expensive to build. I don't need it to be extra expensive to build. We'll roll with the normal expense, right? Okay, I think we made, like, alternating pillars in the last one, whereas we're running sort of square pillars on this one. But either way, I think we'll be fine. Oops, one of the pillars out of spot. Ah, that presents a problem. Oh no, that just tells me the whole row's off. That's what's going on. It's a whole row off. And sort of pillar stuff would be a little bit easier if you could sort of say, hey, give me a click and drag and give me a pillar every, like, 3 hexes or so, or 3 squares or so, right? That's not how it works in this game. Which is, I suppose actually, let's unpause and let the city advance slowly while we're doing this. Some prisoners escaped. Okay, so someone's not properly maintaining one of the stockades, which is not great. Okay, so that's the supports for the building. Now we need to... We've got grandeur from size, we need to get decoration up. No, apparently I don't have adequate space. Let's actually remove one of the altars to get the space bonus. No, that wasn't enough to get the space up to max. No one likes a cluttered temple. Okay. I guess I just want it to be bigger. What's going on? If I want to run that many altars, can I just make it longer? Couple hexes? Couple squares? And then move those altars back. I still don't want the... I do just want to provide 4K services, so I might just have to accept that it's just not going to be perfect. Perfect on space. Reliefs? And yeah, it takes a lot of decoration to get this building up to snuff. And of course the decorations themselves aren't cheap. Try to put some doors in before I don't leave any space for them. And each of these torches is adding a little bit of decoration. Doesn't add a lot, but it's a big building, so you can get a lot in. And we're coming up on halfway. Again, I think the decoration requirement and the space requirement are based obviously on, well, space is how many hexes or how many squares the thing is, relative to the number of altars, and then the decoration is how many altars you have. Max length. Put them in every row. Or every column. How's that looking on decoration score? Looks like that's going to add up to a decent amount. There we go. That way it's symmetric. They'll provide foreign services. We didn't quite max out the space bonus, but I think that will do. We're gonna set it to be built, and then I'm gonna pause it, because obviously we can't afford that right now. Suspend jobs. Suspend job? Oh, and I gotta drag the whole thing, otherwise it doesn't suspend the construction of the building. Although I probably wouldn't be that worried about building the building. It's 2,000 stone, it's not that bad. But yeah, Silk Lenore, not that bad. The jewelry would be pretty bad. Getting up to check on the Empire. The siege is done. Reasonably high hydrations. I actually need one of you. And again, it's two extremely RP flavored that's gonna drop below 300 before here. It bounces back. Okay, it's gonna go over 600, and then we can do some other services here. Not over 300 there yet. And then we're gonna take over those two. Yeah, we fixed what was wrong with our library, so we got an extra 50 knowledge. Might be tempting to try to save up. Pick elderly care as another source of fulfillment. I guess the other one isn't built yet. The new ones we're building up here aren't built yet. Yeah. That'll probably also help a little bit with law and order. By providing more places to punish them. Hopefully the housing here helps, although we might need to build even more housing. That might not be enough. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not enough. Yeah, in theory we should have 300 surplus food. 120 surplus meat. It's just getting it into the town and distributed. Distribution doesn't work very well when you don't have much of round to distribute. Combined with the fact we gotta actually, the way we set it up right now is we're shorting the laborers, right? Oh, I suppose we should raise the Hoolan or export limit. Already over 6,000. Set it so that it's appropriate for 7,000. So the breathing space for another 1,000 people. Where exports happen. Here comes in the seasonal grain. Filling up that warehouse. How's the tavern coverage? The coverage is looking good. The capacity, it looks insufficient. I'm trying to think about maybe just deploying more beer. Which is obviously not a grand plan if you know, don't have the capacity to serve it to people. Put on the tavern over there. Instead of having... Oh no, I got the doors the wrong way around on that one. I was thinking about, oh, I could just shove the tavern to the hall. In fact, I probably could still shove the tavern to the hall. No, I can't, because I've got benches up the side, yeah. Oh, actually, this tavern would shove in that hole for you. Tavern there. Tavern right next to the mass burial pit. Tavern there. I have to imagine that one has good enough supply capacity. Probably want more housing up here, so I think we'll just activate one of the housing blocks up here. You know, I probably want another pump or so up there, so I'm gonna go back onto planning mode. I'm gonna copy one of these. Actually, no, build another, not copy. That way I can make sure we save enough space for, say, 2 pumps over here, or flood the rest. One more shrine to go. Have all the shrines upgraded. And we definitely have enough capacity of shrines. Food souls could be could do with more. Restaurants could do with more, apparently. Although both of those are struggling because we're trying to move more food, is what's going on. Hearths are struggling. Yeah, hearths are struggling with the cold. Because it's winter. I have to squeeze more of these in. Depending on where we are on the road network. Sure, apparently. Put one there. You're a little big to sit in the main portions of the road network, so it has to be places where I'm a little wider than normal. I think there wouldn't be too bad. Plop one there. Already filled that spot in with stall. So that won't work. Earth there. We're gonna well on the island. Definitely not enough space for hearth there. Show one over there. Show one over there. You're probably a little late to be getting completed for this summer, but for this winter, we'll help in the next one. The other option would be to distribute more clothing. That would give everyone more temperature resist. More cold resist in particular. Which would mean they'd have to use the hearth less often. That's why it's becoming particularly low during the winter. And so now that it's spring and it's warming up, there's plenty for the warmer months. It's just the middle of the winter when it's terrible. Back out on the world map, how goes the growth of these cities? You're not quite 300. You're not quite 300. The devastation's gone here, so I can probably pull the army. Region's stable enough without the army there. I've pissed someone off because I wasn't paying attention. Our guy went trespassing. If you save more frequent than I do, you would just do the correct transition. So the problem here is it's quicker. No, I'm not gonna give you stuff. It's quicker transitioning via ocean, so it was quicker to go from here to here to here. Whereas I was hoping the game would be smart enough to not trespass me and walk the slower way around, but it didn't. You know, walk through your own territory, because you can, not walk through someone else's territory. This is going to hopefully be extremely warm and not extremely cold. I think we have adequate access to wells, so I'm not too worried about that. That's not good. Well, yeah, I screwed it up by not micromanaging my army enough to prevent them from trespassing. How big is their field army? Do we know? I'm trying to figure out if I gotta go load the autosave because of one trespass. 200,000. Yeah, I need to load the autosave. Is that far enough back? 1.4 minutes? We'll find out in a moment. No. Okay, hopefully that didn't undo anything that I wanted to still have done, but... Let's do this the right way. Walk around the territory. Yeah, this probably was in the middle of doing the hearths, so hopefully the hearths are still down. Because yeah, these guys don't dislike us until we walk through their territory. And yeah, we're not... Oh, now we can see some of the armies. Yeah, 9K. Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, we're not fighting them. That was dumb. And yeah, that's something that could probably be fixed. That's one of the things where it's an early access game. Pathfinding of don't trespass unless you need to. When you give a move order, probably should be default. Yeah, to be fair, we could probably get a much larger army. But then we'd have to supply it. Right, we've got 1,000 Dondorians we could get marshaled, 300 more Dondorians, 300 Garmithi, 1.8k humans, 400 Mivians, 250 Talapi. So we could field a much larger army. I don't think we can necessarily field one that's large enough necessarily to casually fight that. Is kind of the problem going on. Yeah, could really do with more food coming in. And of course, while I have to care about trespassing, the neighbors apparently don't. Like, it's not a problem. It's not the problem that they're actually going through my territory. Just that they take offense to it, but yet I don't get to take offense to them. A little weird when that happens. Okay, so we built... Oh, the new fighting pits aren't upgraded. Let's get them upgraded. And, how about the new taverns? That's a barber. Was that supposed to be a tavern? I'm not sure. We're thinking of giving up the noble assigned to stone for governing reasons. So I don't necessarily want to take minor or take miners off of stone in the expectation that that's probably happening. In fact, let's just do that. Let's figure out if we're going to be short stone right now. Yes. Annoyingly. These guys are struggling to get fish because we just don't have enough fish stored. Yeah, imprisonment's improving. Although I think imprisoment's full, right? I think we're full again. Oh, let's just talk it. Helps the prison system. Yeah, we're full again, so I arguably need more prisons. Try to get a little more prisons that way. Trying to think about how I'm going to unstick the current state. Because we're 200 odd jobbers short, right? Which, in this case, actually arguably means we're 200 warehouse workers short. Which is maybe what's contributing to the food not being where we want it to be and such. Cult found. Worrying development has occurred in Conite. A strange cult was spread, venerating and praying to a mortal. Usually cults like this are rooted out without mercy when they're found, but there's something notable about this one. They revere us. Supposedly they have pictures and statues of likeness of little shrines at home. For some reason, your flag is fixed to their dwellings, which makes them very easy to find, which soldiers know what to look for. You did not notice anything divine about yourself, perhaps they know something you don't. Besides, the practice of using body parts of gods and curses is pretty disturbing now that you're experiencing it from the outside. They seem pretty harmless and do not oppose you or oppose the faith directly. If you were to legalize the cult, it might spread. Probably not at the capital, since you do not look very divine up close. However, this would likely sour relations with most of our peers due to the theological acrobats you would have to perform. We would legalize it or ban it, but we don't get told what the results are here before we make that decision. I think we're gonna be good. We're gonna ban it. We're gonna say don't pray to me. Explicitly forbade worship of you and broke up the cult. Usually, more violent measures were employed, but in this case, there was no need. The whole thing became public knowledge, and your peers appreciate resisting temptation. Besides the religious aspect, such a cult would have inevitably caused them problems sooner or later. Got the cut stone, got the stone, got the Sithalon. I suppose the solution, because the Grand Temple would be pretty powerful. Let's set up a import depot for jewelry. And then we'll get the Grand Temple into construction. We got everything else for it except for the jewelry. In fact, because I know I got everything else for it, and I'll activate it and start getting the stuff delivered. And out on the world map, you continue campaign. They're now at 300, so go up a size. This is a good place for fishing, so we'll do fishing here. That one's over 300, so go up in size. Not as good a place for fishing, but I'd rather. Our people actually like mining Silverland ore, so we got Silverland ore to mine. We'll do fish. 2 levels here, more food. That one's not at 300 yet. Yeah, in theory there's plenty of food, it's just apparently getting into the city and distributed is difficult. Because yeah, here we're getting 700 net a day. I assume the taxes probably don't come in daily. The taxes are maybe like monthly or something with the fish. We're gonna siege down 2 more regions. And then our military expansion will be stopped for a while. Oh, I suppose, well, actually that would piss people off, right? This piss the humans off. One option would be to go down to, well, actually, I suppose if we're doing indoctrination, it wouldn't be that painful, but you move into universities. Okay, you're done. So I want you to import jewelry. 30%. We'll probably turn that down after the building's built. Okay, almost cleared. Almost got the stone outer structure completed as well. And then they'll have to haul the interior stuff in. More stockade. We're still working on the dungeon, although that's down to 1 metal, so that shouldn't take too long. Yeah, because they're building the stone building here, most of the thing they're hauling in is stone. How goes the siege? 2 days? Not long enough. You're still below 600, you're still below 600. You haven't got over 300 yet. All three of those should get to 600, so... What are we going to produce here? Probably more fish. Probably need to get the get an expanded and improved insane asylum for the poor humans. We've got 900 insane people, and or we've got 90 unactively being treated insane people, and half of them are humans. More than half of them are humans. Humans apparently prone to being insane in this game. Let's not put the insane asylum right next to the temple. Put next to the labs. Pretend guys are studying their insane compatriots. Health asylum. Nope. Went too long. There we go. So that'll be a workable building. Treats 20 deranged at a time. And that's reasonably easy to copy and paste if I need to. Get that into construction. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to build the temple here. If we're... Well, we're going to import until we got a stable level of jewelry. After we got the temple built. If, at that point, it looks like we're making enough jewelry to do all the maintenance, we'll turn the jewelry import off, obviously, because at that point we shouldn't need it. And then if that stays consistent and our money bounces back up to like 2 million, we'll swap out over to Cutstone so we can build the Grand Fighting Arena. Again, it's another service need, it'll help out a lot. Grand service need to the very high catchment area as well. And then I suppose the other problem that is coming up is I apparently need more housing in specific areas of the city. Where all the new buildings are, presumably. Yeah. So that would probably help with access to housing. Although we're not too bad at access to housing. Almost all the stones delivered. In theory, enough jewelry has been delivered to build this. So we've got all the bits in the town, it's just a process of dragging it to the worksite and putting it together. Which is reasonably hard to do when you have no odd jobbers, and you're just waiting for people to take their breaks and be like, you know, I'll go help construct the temple today. Or in this case, I'll go help construct the insane asylum. I'm annoyed by the person down the street running around in circles. As you do. That was not the button I meant to hit. Hit tab, and I decided Alt tab instead. It's a very different button result. Auto would cost us 98 men to kill 7. We wait a couple days, and they'll be defeated, and then we'll move on to the next one. Now, these ones are pretty dry. We're up here in the northern desert, northern wastes. So I'm not expecting these to be particularly great cities. Okay, all the stone has been delivered. So it's now time to bring in the cut stone, the Scythian ore, and the jewelry itself. The jewelry is right there, so it's going to be delivered real quick. It's going to be the cut stone that's going to take a while. Even the Scythian ore is reasonably close by. The Scythian ore is just over here. That stone is farther away. And of course, building the houses nicely provides more housing in the local area. Although it's going to take a lot more than that to fix the problem, I think. Need a lot more housing in here. And given what's going on right now, I don't want to upgrade housing, so it's going to be terrible tier 1 housing. Although the tier 1 is only houses 8 less people than the tier 3 fully upgraded housing. Oops, I built the asylum construction out of stone. It'll be fine. Well, that one is made out of stone. That's fine, it's human construction, or mainly meant for humans, but that's probably why these are taking so long, because I have to hold the stone over here. I'm actually somewhat surprised they haven't finished delivering all the jewelry yet. Although they've delivered most of it in comparison to the other stuff. How far does that go? Okay, we're gonna need another one of those over there. I suppose we should put a guard post next to a hearth. That's actually just all. We'll just get the whole thing here. The well might want another well as well. Although that's when we got this all into fishing. Which is a little way off in the future. It's a little way off in the future. Definitely uses some more wood. We'll do a massive fill tree order here. As soon as people become available, we'll get the wood in from it. Almost done delivering everything. And again, this will be a big fulfillment boost, right? So this will be another 1.5. And then apparently I'm a little short on crypts, so we'll put a couple more crypts out. Lower taxes do nothing. Sure. We'll be nice and we'll lower the taxes for a while. Thanks for lower taxes so much can afford a reasonable standard of living again. Yeah, the taxes from that area is going to be maliced, but they'll like us better in the meantime. It's not a permanent modifier. And it's I think it's a region that's being affected. Yeah, it's affecting this region. Or at least that's what the description played. Whether it is or not, it's a different question. Okay, so we can promote you. There you go. You're still slated to go over 600. This is still a decent place for fishing. We're gonna do some fishing here. And again, this one was flavored enough that it's, we're not going to be able to keep it over 300, or it shrinks below 300. We might not even be able to get this one to 600, to be fair. Because of how bad the hydration is in the local area. Yeah, this is going to be a struggle to even get to 300. This will go to 300. But, oh, that's going to be a struggle. It's saying 297 right now, but that's because we've got the 7% missing from the devastation. 7% of 300 is obviously enough to bring us below 300, right? It's barely going to be over 300. This will be over 300, and as a side effect, will provide like 2 buildings, I think I get from. Yeah, 7% plus 30% will, or 7 plus 30% will be 30 additional percent, will probably be about 10. Probably going to get 2 buildings in here. Probably get meat out of it. Almost done flooding the land over here. When that's done, I might be tempted to build more fisheries, because apparently we're still having issues with food delivery. Although, I suspect the issues with food delivery is that we don't have enough warehouse workers, right? We've got 120 warehouse workers short. Oh, and we've reached the point where our administration is not big enough for the amount of workers we have again. Although it's big enough that we're not taking much of a penalty. Small penalty. In small penalty territory. slowly building it up. They're working on the floors first, and then they'll build the actual stuff that goes on the floor. Everything's been delivered, so it's about half done. Same sort of thing over here. Oh no, not everything's been delivered to this island, so I'm taking some time getting its bits. You're now over 600, so you can go up another tier. Because you're up another tier. I don't quite have enough here to run. Although, can I get away with dropping the Euro tier? Yes, I can. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, so that's going to let us take like 3 fishing buildings and a stand. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Screwed something up. Screwed something up. Ah, it changed the ratio. That's what I screwed up. So it will go over 600, but because I turned it down, people moved out, and that borked it. Need to be a little more careful than that in the future. Good thing we caught that pretty quickly, though. Yeah, here's gonna struggle to even get to 300. It's gonna be the same sort of thing here. In fact, I think this here's better, because here's 16, that was 9, I think. 26. Okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Although 16 is pretty bad then. Yeah. Oh, you're 6. Oof. There's definitely some cities where you can tell that you and the AI play by different rules when making cities in those locations. Yes, once this temple's done, we'll have the maintenance estimation for how much jewelry it's going to consume. So the other thing I do is, we've got one more shrine to upgrade. Upgrade that shrine. There we go. 54 priests. So in the short run, it's going to make things worse. But it should be much better in the long run. Okay, so yeah, we do need to run jewelry imports, or I have to add another jeweler. Not very much import, though. We're like 0.6, 0.7 jewel short. But yeah, we can turn the import down here. Everything's built, we just need enough to maintain the maintenance. So 5% should be enough. Then we'll see if the treasury balance goes back up. So watch everyone enjoy the temple. The temple will also give us some temple bonuses, which is mostly to our refining industries. So pottery, paper making, smelting, tailors, that sort of stuff. Another 20 patients being treated in the asylum. Good to see. New asylum. And yeah, this place is going to be rip-roaring for the first, like, 6-7 days. It's operational. In fact, I think it worked out. This is only enough services for 4,000 people, so... This is not a big enough... This might not be a big enough temple to actually treat or work the entire city. We may at one point want to build another city, or another temple. And it covers most of the city. Practically covers the entire city. Yeah, I think it's just the top left corner it doesn't get to. Because of how it or here, once we punch through, it'll get there. Top left is not getting to because of how it has to go across bridges. There was a... As the crow flies, it'll probably make it there. Okay, that's a pretty big drain on both maintenance and sacrifices for the temple. Because the Sizzling Ore is the only thing we're paying maintenance on. Yeah, the temple's the only thing we're paying Sizzling Ore maintenance on, but we have enough production, so it isn't a problem. Yeah, religion's tending up. Where is my crypt? Let's grab another crypt. There's a bit of crypt up here. Oh, you don't have adequate maintenance. What are we having janitor delivery issues with? Metal. Pottery. Okay, both of those make sense, because apparently we're, like, basically out of metal and pottery. Fair enough. That's the metal request. This will be the pottery request. Yeah, the warehouse workers are taking up a significant portion of the workforce, especially when you add haulers and loading and unloading. Loading and unloading would actually probably be a better use of my workers than the warehouses at this point. But then I have to sort of redesign the system because I've let it get way out of position at this point. Like we have an unloading thing here, which in theory should be unloading the right stuff, but I don't think we've pushed furniture into the system, and there isn't enough fish being pushed into the system. Coal probably is being pushed in the system appropriately, but I think that's one problem being solved. Religion's going up, so religion is helping. Completely degraded. Okay, so I think for safety reasons that'll work, but it obviously is not working for quality. The quality is terrible. Crypto help a little bit with support. Okay, one thing we can try to do. We're definitely making more beer than we need. I say it. I was about to serve it, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah, we're making enough to If surplus enough, the stockpile fill up, but not enough to really want to run as a service need. Probably might actually be worth exporting beer. As weird as that sounds. Because we're not making enough to distribute more to the people. Let's get that siege underway. Because the devastation's gone here, so that's good to see. You're not at 600 yet. You're back at 600, so we can now officially promote you to that tier without any problems. Take the stand. Extra taxes. And max the fishing out for more food coming in. Okay, so the shortage of odd jobbers is going down. If we can get that gone, then we can try to solve the shortfalls in various industries. There's a couple of different ways to solve them. Yeah, we're gonna wait there. Before we go on much longer, I think this is the place where we put the part break in. We got the temple up. Temple is big bonus to our fulfillment. Basically picked up the last easy 1.5 fulfillment in the religion category. I say easy. It's arguably isn't that easy. It's well, if you're going to 30, it's not that easy. We're paying basically 50 Sicilian ore per day. And you can see the buy price on that, right? So that's about 20,000 daily denarii expenditure if you were to be buying it. So that's viable because we're Dondorians mining Sicily. On the other hand, it would be nice to be exporting that. That'd be like 20,000 export that we're not exporting as a side effect. So we have to be aware of that. So, but 1.5 fulfillment, pretty good. If you had more cuts down, we could do more road preference, although it's not going to be worth importing for that. We mostly got the service needs. We got a little bit of food stall issues. I might look into doing more food stalls. That might be one way we try to improve the city. And then we've got food servings, we've got drink servings. Yeah, probably next time we'll try to get more food stalls out and about. If the treasury recovers from the Grand Temple construction, we'll probably go and try to import the cut stone to do the Grand Arena. Grand Arena is another 0.75. That's one of the reasons we haven't rushed for it. It's really expensive. Although, again, I think this is another, you build one thing and it covers the entire city. So one probably gets us the full 0.75. At which point we're probably looking into retirement. Retirement will be good to fluff the city numbers, although we're going to be struggling with that food. That's the one drawback with running the food. Although the food has helped with health as well. Yeah, the food's helping with health as well. 0.6 health, basically, modifier. That's basically the entire... We'd be really close to one without it. So that's good. That's helping the health department. But yeah, so... Food, we're going to probably do the food stalls. If the economy recovers, we're going to do the Grand Arena. And then we're probably going to look into retirement. Going to retire our pops. And yeah, depending on how strong retirement is, we might literally retire them all. Or get the max bonus from retirement. Get the full 8 from retirement. Because this is one in 5 people retired. And then I think technically you want them retired in the retirement home. Let me check the price for the retirement home. Or the, where is that? I don't have it unlocked, so it should be the one there, rest home. We'll need more pottery. We'll need more fabric. We'll need more furniture. But again, 8 fulfillment, some upkeep. 1 in 5 people. Assuming 8 fulfillment is going to provide us basically 1 in 5 people, that's not too bad. We still will need more workers. We're going to be sort of chasing our tail, I think, going forward here, where we need people to make the solutions to keep the people happy. That's one reason we're trying to expand the empire. Is the more stuff we can take and bring in via taxation, the happier the administration will be at home. And yeah, most of these places are not. There's not enough meat on the bone necessarily to get them up into the tier. The places that are really good at hydration, we probably could do. We'd have to temporarily reduce taxes to do it, but we could probably get them up a tier. Like here, we're at 1.78. I think the next growth tier takes them up to 2.4. Of course, if we're gonna take them up a tier, then we probably in the tech tree, right? We probably go. Oh, okay. We'd have to. We unlocked 2 of them. We can go for skilled workforce 3. That would be like another 10% nationwide workforce modifier. And we can take up some of the stuff like health and loving subjects and such to make the regions a little bit better. Yeah. But yeah, this is where we're going to bring this one to a close. The city is definitely stable. We're destabilizing it in some ways that I'm a little worried about. We're short on metal. We're not exactly short on metal. We're break even on metal, which is concerning. Apparently break even on pottery, although we haven't checked to see if the janitor's keeping up on everything. So it might be that it's saying break even because the janitors aren't getting what they want. In some places. I don't like that the janitors are apparently already behind on the temple. The temple's only been up for like 3 days, guys. How are you behind already? The furniture makes sense. We're probably not supplying the furniture. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what's happening. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the maintenance estimation is wrong because things are not being adequately deployed to the janitors. We're not having furniture here. We'll have to try to fix that next time. But yeah, hope everyone has been enjoying. If you're watching on YouTube, we got up to 6.2K in this stream. We'll probably bring the run to a close when we get, well, if we get Astra Invicti here, we probably are going to bring the run to a close. If we get that far, we're done. That would be doubling the city size and getting it to 100% loyalty, 100% submission. That's probably not easy. Astra, same sort of logic. We might keep trying to push past Astra to see if we can get to Astra Invicti, but I'd be happy if we got to Astra. It's more than we got last time. And then we can see which titles we picked up this time over last time. So we haven't picked up, or no, we picked up the Entertainer. We're currently running the Artisan. Currently running the First of the Name, Heaviest of Hands. We haven't actually, well, we're not running executions in the city. I'm not going to turn executions on just so we can have Heaviest of Hands. As tempting it is to get more law for future runs. The Bureaucrat, we picked up Bureaucrat this run, we didn't pick it up last time. Because we didn't get the realm population apparently high enough. I don't know if drink servings fulfilled, but thirst is interesting. Haven't had enough accidents for safety in either run. Caretaker. Oh, that's actually probably a thing I should probably do in the next one. Build more hospitals. Forgot that the hospital service is not based on people going to it, but on there being enough beds. So they want 84 people employed in the hospital industry, there's 46. So we can get more fulfillment here just by building more hospital beds. That's pretty easy to do. Gourmand, we started to turn up the food servings. We haven't fed them enough, and there's not enough food days. Did Lifebringer, Lord of the Seven Kingdoms both times. Merciful, we did both times. we're in the north this time, so we'll ward in the north instead of sedge of B. The temple, I think, will get us up to 95%. We'll find out next time. We haven't got great, although we're really trying for great this time. That's pretty plausible. We're probably not going to get mad unless the color shows up again, let's just say. I could probably cheese the nudist if we wanted the nudist, but we're not going to try doing that right now. And we are going closer to undefeated. We'll see if we can get undefeated. Anyway, we haven't united in kingdoms. Actually, getting education would be interesting. Kill a couple foreign royalties to gain this lucrative title. But yeah, this is where we're at. If you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, let me go over the Twitch schedule for the next couple days. So today was Songs of 6. Tomorrow will be Terra Invicta. Thursday will be actually attempting the part 3 of Darkest Dungeon again. If that goes well, and we finish it successfully without losing, we'll go and do part 4 and finish the run that day. If it doesn't go well, when we wipe, we'll change games. I haven't decided what the game is going to be yet, but I'll have something installed and ready to go for afterwards. I might try to make it something short, like we might do. I'm trying to remember the name of the game. Might do the Banished Vault afterwards. That's what we might do if the run goes terribly. Because I don't want to make everyone sit through another training montage in Darkest Dungeon. I'll take the time and do that myself off stream. But yeah, Wednesday, which is tomorrow, will be Terra Invicta. Nobles willing, we're on the attack in Terra Invicta. Training montage, or we're gonna actually do Darkest Dungeon 3 in Thursday, and then Friday we'll be back to this, which is Songs of 6. So that's the upcoming 3 days. If you're watching this on YouTube, that should all be in your past. I'm recording a little bit ahead at the moment to be prepared for being away for a wedding. So with that, I'm going to wish you all the best of luck and a good time. If you're watching on Twitch, this is the last time to get comments in. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to do that as well. So until the next time, best of luck. Bye for now.